Loved tattoo. My mother in the 70s was a biker chick. She loved men with tattoos. She had a big crush on the Undertaker. Actually, she did not like wrestling, but she saw the Undertaker when he was the American Badass, and she's like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Oh." So whenever I see that him in that version, I always think of my mother.
Okay.
And yeah, she hated that I loved wrestling. Hated it. Like, especially like she eventually embraced the fact that that I loved it and was just like fine. And by embraced, I mean she bought me really weird wrestling stuff, like the China bowling ball. But yeah, especially because I started I obviously idolized China, so I worked out a lot and I started getting muscles. And my mother started telling me about how muscles weren't feminine and da da da. And but you couldn't tell me shit because I was just like, really? Look at China. Look at her. She looks pretty feminine to me. Look at Jacqueline. Looks real feminine to me. Like, come on now.
I don't know
Um,
that bad with stuff like that. Like she was really cool with me, like in wrestling as a kid. Like I would want to stay home from dance class to watch wrestling on Saturdays. Like I wouldn't want to go. And then I eventually quit going to dance and like played basketball instead.
mhm.
And me and one other girl were the only two girls in the whole league, and it was like all little boys. She was fine with that. She used to take me to go see wrestling. She loved Shawn Michaels back when he was, better looking. And
Mhm.
she said the other day to me, she goes, "Ooh, we were talking about wrestling." She goes, "Ooh, I love Shawn Michaels." And I go like this to her, "You wouldn't now," like cross my eyes. She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's not attractive." It was only ever chores that she ever looked at. Like I I was always like filthy and playing sports and playing with like boys and like watching wrestling and play like
Mhm.
into sports when I was little. And I never got shit for that. Like it was just always when it came to doing household chores that like certain chores are for the girls and certain chores are for the boys. That's like, fuck you.
See, it was just me and my mom, so we had to do everything. So I did everything from like chopping wood because we have a wood burner, to dishes and dusting and all that. Except when I developed my severe dust allergy, that got me out of dusting.